Welcome the students. Today we are going to discuss about the next point of the bridge engineering topic, that is coffer dam. In last video lecture we have already seen the caisson foundation and types of the caisson foundation. In this lecture we have to see the concept of the coffer dam and types of the coffer dam. Let's have start. The coffer dam, it is nothing but the temporary structure which is constructed so as to remove water from the area and make it possible to carry out construction work under the dry condition. The coffer dam, it is nothing but the temporary structure we have to construct it at the or preventing of the remove the water from the area and make it possible to or make it easy to possible to construct the work under the dry condition. Next, it should be reasonable watertight and should be designed for the maximum water so as to prevent its failure. It is a very reasonable watertight and also economy watertight, and it should be designed for the maximum water level or high water level so as to prevent or remove the failure. The materials used for the construction are soil, timber, steel, and concrete. The copper dam were to constructed with the help of the various materials, that is the soil, timber, steel and concrete. But nowadays we have to use the material, that is the steel and concrete. The type of the construction of copper dam is dependent on the enclosed area, depth of the water, soil condition, fluctuation on water level, nature and velocity of flow, materials at site and nature of bed. That is the types of the copper dam. It is the depending of total depending upon the enclosed area, that is the site or location of the copper dam. Next, depth of the water, either the depth of the water is the shallow depth or deep depth. Next, soil condition, soil condition of the site. Next, fluctuation on water level, nature and velocity of flow, and material at site. It is important. The near about site, the material availability, and next is the nature of weight. It is all the factors affecting for the which type of the copper dam we have to construct it. Next, types of the copper dam. First type of the copper dam is earth-filled copper dam. They are embankment made up of earth created around the site to be enclosed. The earth-filled copper dam, it is nothing but the embankment made of the earth created around the site to be enclosed or prevent the water. They are suitable when the depth of impervious layer is near to bed and water depth is shallow with low velocity. This type of the coffer dam, it is the suitable when the depth of the water level is the near to the bed and also water depth is shallow with low velocity. The materials used for the earth coffer dam, it is the mixture of clay, sand and gravel. This type of the coffer dam we have to use with the help of the material, the various such as clay, sand and also gravel material. They are protected against the wind and wave action by riprap and small stone on water side of the coffer dam. This also protected against the wind and wave action by riprap and also small stones on the water side of the coffer dam. In this image, we have to see this is the earth-filled copper dam construction. It is a temporary structure. Also, we have to see that it is the preventing of the water at the area in the area for the make it easy to possible to construction in dry, and also it is the protected from the wave, wind and wave action and also small stones at the water near about the water bed. But this type of the copper dam we have to use where it is the shallow depth of the water is present. Next is the rock dikes or rock filled copper dam. In this type of the rocks are used to create the embankment. This type of the cofferdam or embankment we have to use with the help of the rocks. They are usually for the depth of up to 3 meter and suitable even if water is swift. This type of the rock fill cofferdam it is the suitable where the depth of the water is the up to 3 meter and also water is the swift. It is more economical if rocks is available in the plenty. This type of the cofferdam you have to consider it is very economical if the plenty of the rocks is available near about the site. Otherwise, it is the very costly. As they are made up of the rocks, they are pervious and some techniques is used to make its watertight such as the layer of the impervious on upstream. This is the cofferdam you have to made up the rocks with the using the some techniques of the watertight such as the layer of the impervious on upstream. Here we seen that the rock fill cofferdam to preventing the water, but this type of the water rock fill cofferdam is very economical if plenty of the rocks is available near about this site. Here we seen that the plenty of the rocks otherwise it's very costly. Also it is the useful when the depth of the water is then up to 3 meter. This is the actual site of the image. Next is the sandbag dikes. In this type of the mixture of sand and clay is filled in the bag and such bags are laced over one another to form cofferdam. This type of the cofferdam or sandbag dikes, it is a mixture of the sand and clay is the filled in the bag and also this bags is the laying the one by one to forming the cofferdam. The sandbag dikes are useful for the small depth of the water. This type of the cofferdam it is a useful where when the small depth of the water is present. The individual bags are partially filled so that when they are placed they adjust with the unevenness of bottom surface. This is the way to placing the bags is the partially filled with when they are placed and we have to also we have to adjust the unevenness of the bottom surface also. This type of the sandbag fill cofferdam here to constructed, but it is the applicable when water depth is less. Here we see that the bottom surface we have to placing the uneven surface and also it is laying one by one the sand fill are placing, but it is also we have to use where velocity of the water is less, otherwise it is the failure. Next, rock filled creep cofferdam. It consists of the sheet piles are supported by a series of wooden creeps. The rock filled creep cofferdam it is the concept of the sheet piles supporting the series of the wooden creeps. The creep is the framework of horizontal timber installed in the alternate course of to form pockets. The creep it is nothing but the framework of the horizontal timbers to installing the alternate course of the form of the pockets. The pockets are filled with the earth or stone to give stability against the overturning. In deep waters about 10 to 20 meters where it is difficult to penetrate the guide piles or sheet piles into the hard bed below, creep cofferdam is used up. That is, in this type of the cofferdam we have to use where deep water it is or water level is available up to 10 to 20 meter. Also, if the working space is limited and flow of the water is the fast, it is very useful where is the working space is very limited and flow of the water or velocity of the water is the fast or more. Here you see that this is the image of the rock filled creek copper dam. This is the wooden creek. This is the we have to laying the horizontal timber with the alternate arrangement for the pockets. Here we seen that the various pockets, and these pockets we have to filling the with the help of either the earth or stone. The reason of these pockets we have to filling the stones or the earth because the is given the stability or better stability against the overturning. And this type of the copper dam we have to use where water depth is available up to 10 to 20 meter, and also velocity of the flow is the fast. This is the image of the Brockfield Creek copper dam. Okay. Next type is the single wall copper dam. It is the consist of the single row of the sheet piles on either side of the copper dam. This copper dam we have to consider the single row of the sheet piles we have to provide the both side of the copper dam. It consists of the guide piles, bales, studs, and sheet piles. Also, we have to consisting the guide piles, wales, studs, and sheet piles. It should be supported from inside by means of straight studs and braces. The inside section of the copper is supporting with the help of the studs and braces. Suitable when available working space is limited and area to be enclosed is small. This type of the copper dam it is the suitable when the working space is the limited, also area to is to be enclosed or in the small. Its shape will be depend upon the nature of the work and area to be enclosed. This type of the copper dam the shape is the depending on the nature of the work and also area or site. The guide piles, wales, and struts are normally made of the timber, and sheet piles may be made of the wood and steel. The various materials we have to use the guide piles, wales, and struts are we have to made up with the timber, and also sheet piles made of the wood or steel. The provided up to maximum depth of the water is 25 meter. This type of the cofferdam we have to providing where the depth of the water is present above the 25 meter. Here we seen that the guide piles, stars, wells, and sheet piles. This is the single wall cofferdam image. The guide piles, stars, and wells it is made from the timber, and also it is the sheet piles also made up from either the timber or steel. The distance or height of this internal copper dam or inside copper dam is the 10 meter and length is the 6 meter. At inside copper dam it is the supporting with the help of the struts. The section AB we have seen that this is the water level present. With the help of the wells and also this supporting this these wells are supporting the struts, and this is the guide piles. This is the river bed which is a maximum 25 meter. This is the single wall copper dam. The wells, struts, and guide piles are the timber made up from the timber, and sheet piles made of the either the this timber or steel material. This is the actual image of the single wall coffer dam. This is the single wall steel box the coffer dam. This is the struts, the vertical and horizontal. The length of this coffer dam is the 10 meter and 6 meter. That is 6 by 10 meter. These struts are the with the closing with the wells. Various wells are using. This is the material. This is the sheet piles material of this steel material, using of this steel material, and this is the steel box of coffer dam. This is the depending of the shape of the coffer dam is the nature of the work and also area of the enclosed dam. Next is the cellular coffer dam. It is made by driving the straight web steel sheet piles arranged to form a series of the interconnected cells. The cellular coffer dam, it is nothing but the driving the straight web sheet piles, and this is the arranging the series of the interconnected cells. Finally, the cells are filled with the clay, sand, or gravel to make them stable against the various forces. These cells are filling the various materials such as the clay, sand, or the gravel for the making the stability or better stability given against the various forces. The cells are constructed in various shapes and styles to suit the requirements of this site. The where the cells are where to construct at the various shape as totally depending upon the site or requirement of the site. This type of the coffer dam it is the mostly used for the dewatering large areas in the places where the depth of the water may be of the order of 18 to 21 meter with diameter 10 to 50 meter. That is this type of the coffer dam we have to use where the depth of water is the more, that is the 18 to 21 meter, and the diameter of the 10 to 15 meter. Especially this is the coffer dam we have to using the dewatering method or of the dewatering of the large areas in the places. Here we seen that this is the various cellular coffer dam we have to constructed, and this shape of the cellular coffer dam is the circular, and this shape is totally dependent upon the requirement of the site. And this circular coffer dam we have to filling with the various materials such as clay, soil, or gravel material because of the given the better stability against the various forces. And second image we have to see, this is the in this image here the dewatering method is the carry out. The inside of the water is the dewatering. The depth of this coffer dam is the 18 to 20 meter, and the diameter of the coffer dam is the 10 to 15 meter. It's a large area where we covered. Okay. Okay. Today we have to stop here. In next lecture we have to see the another important points of this topic. Thank you. Thank you so much.